about the 70-20-10 rule. Now this is an amazing hack if you want to uplift the lighting of your space. Now it's really important to know that you may be having a very beautiful space, but if the lighting is not done right, it's not going to look as beautiful as it should look. So you definitely need to know about these beautiful hacks, how much of what light to use, what color to use, and exactly everything to do with the lighting right for your place. So stay tuned till the end of the video because we're going to bring out all of these beautiful secrets to help you. Hi guys, I'm Tanvi Sixeria, the founder and CEO of littlemsdesigner. If you're here to find out about the tips, tricks and hacks and anything to do with interior design, then you're at the right place. So let's jump right into the topic. How many of you have spent hours to select the right furniture, to select the right wallpaper, to select the right switches, etc. Or even if you've hired an interior designer, it still takes a lot of effort, right? And still after doing all of this, your space is still not looking that wow. It's probably because the lighting is not perfect. So for you to perfect the lighting, you should definitely use this 70-20-10 rule. Now you must be wondering, what is this rule? Well, it's very simple. Just as the name sounds, it means 70-20-10, which means 70% should be your general lighting, 20% should be your aesthetic lighting, and 10% should be your accent lighting. Now I'm going to brief you a little more about each point in this, about what type of lighting should go where and exactly how to select it. So 70% is known for general lighting. Now general lighting is usually used onto the ceiling of all of your rooms, and this is usually known as used in a white light. Now in case if you go to the market, it's technically known as a 6K light or a 6000K light, but in case you're not familiar with these terms, you can also call it a regular white light. Now this light really helps to actually illuminate the place. It makes it a nice bright light space that helps to make your space look very beautiful and for you to see everything very clearly. Now this is usually divided into your track lights, your panel lights and also your spotlights. Now all of these three types of lights are very different in their own way, but they still do the same feature of absolutely making your space look bright and nice. Well, of course it's beautiful to know this, but I'm going to be sharing with you a little secret about how you can save your electricity bill. So stay tuned till the end of the video to find out more about this. So track lights come in a variety. This can be concealed or it can be exposed. Now exposed track lights is very simple to use as you do not even need a false ceiling for it. You can directly put it onto your ceiling, but the only difference is that you can actually see the putty on which the spotlights are put onto it. Whereas a concealed track light, the putty is not visible, that actually goes inside your false ceiling. This thickness usually ranges between a 3" to a 6" depending on which light you actually select. And when you're using this, what happens is that the track putty is inside the false ceiling, but the spotlight or the light which is coming outside of the track light can actually be moved at angles, or you can move it around. And trust me, these come in a really nice, not too many colors, but the black and white is also looking absolutely amazing, and it goes really well with your space usually when you design it and you place it up. So these come in a lot of wattages, like they can start from literally a 5 wattage going all the way up to 25 wattage. So depending on how much you want to illuminate your space and how many of these lights you want to put, it depends on that. But the final goal of it is to use these to actually illuminate your space and look at the nice and bright. For concealed track lights, one of the newest versions that have come up is the magnetic track light. So these are also very similar to that. The only difference is that it's actually magnetic, so it's very easy to remove, replace and move it around, but these are slightly more costlier. So I would recommend to use this only if you have a budget. So spotlights are very similar to track lights. The only difference is that it doesn't have the track putty that comes along with it. It's just the spotlight, and usually this comes in a circular form or a cylindrical form. These have a variety of colors. It's not just available in black and white. There are several colors to this, and some companies actually customize to the color that you would actually want to match to maybe some other finishing in your space. Consider the wattage and the diameter of it, because they come in a variety of sizes and different circumferences. So choose the one that right fits for your space. Now panel lights can come in a concealed or surface fitting too. The only difference between the two is that the surface fitting goes directly onto the ceiling where you can actually see the exposed wiring, whereas the concealed panel light usually is done under the false ceiling where you cannot see any of the wires and it's all hidden, and you can only probably see the rim of the light if it has a rim. So these are definitely recommended. I always suggest to go for concealed lighting in general over surface lighting, because then you do not have to see all of those wires running all across, unless you really don't have the budget or your space really doesn't give you the permission to do so. So second thing that I would tell you about panel lights is that you should remember that they come in a variety of shapes as well. Usually they come in round or squares. I always recommend that you should go for a round fitting, because in case if your walls and your ceiling is not aligned to 90 degrees, you will not make much of a difference, because in case it isn't, then you're going to definitely know if you put a square light there. So 70% of your space should include general lighting, which includes your track lights, spotlights and panel lights. And the next 20% of your room or any space that you're designing should include your aesthetic lighting. So as general lighting scope was to actually illuminate the space, aesthetics lighting scope is mainly to decorate your space. Now this can be done in a variety of ways. You can use beautiful chandeliers, hanging lights, pending lights, which are usually hanging from the ceiling. Now how this works is you usually use this for a focus point. So let's say if you're in a living room, in the living room you might have a center table. So above that you can have a nice chandelier, or let's say even above the dining table you can have a nice long chandelier or maybe a nice long hanging light. So this really helps to decorate the space and really add that little bit of glam to the space also. Or you can even go for something simple, but it has to be something that really catches the eye and really helps to decorate the space and make it look nice. Now usually when you're choosing your decorative or chandelier lights, it's very important to not go with white lights. I personally feel that these need to add a little bit of coziness to the space. So I usually recommend that you go for a slightly yellowish light, which in technical terms is actually known as warm white color. And if you go into the market, this is also known as a 3K light or a 3000K light. So definitely try these out. They come in a variety of colors, sizes, styles. I'm sure you can at least find one of them that can actually resonate with your space. So now that you have your general lighting illuminating the space and you have your aesthetic lighting just decorating your space, the last 10% of this rule consists of your accent lighting. And accent lighting's rule is to actually highlight certain parts of your room. So you can do this with the help of floor lamps or wall lamps. This is a very cute way to add some coziness, ambience to your space. So how this works is that usually maybe by the center table or maybe like towards the side table that you're using by the sofa, you can actually put like a small little lamp, or maybe even by the study table you can have a small little lamp over there, as it just gives a small amount of light just to add a bit of that coziness, not as your main lighting. You can also do this having this light coming directly from the floor. So usually if you see in living rooms, people try to put a nice floor light that's arching right across from the floor, going all across, so that this really adds a little statement to the place, and it also helps to highlight a bit of the rug which is below. And these wall lamps actually help to highlight maybe like an artwork, or let's say if you put a nice painting. Sometimes you can even go creative by putting a nice carpet on the wall. Yes, people actually do this, but basically anything that you would like to highlight onto a wall is actually done through these wall lamps. Now again, when you're choosing these accent lights, remember to not go for the white light, as you already have your general lighting doing that part. I would again recommend that you use the warm light, or the 3K or the 3000 light that I mentioned for the decorative light, as this really creates a good balance with that white lighting that is going all across your room. So now you're going to know so much about when you're going to choose the lighting of your space. You don't just have to go to a random light store and look completely blank and not knowing what you're doing. You're going to know exactly what type of light to buy, what are the different sizes you get, and how to actually balance and choose the right lighting for your space. So what are you waiting for? Go over there and go select your lights. You can actually even choose these online. It's so simple to choose. And when you select these lights, just make sure of one thing, that not to have a bit of glare coming in, because it might hurt your eye if it's too bright. So make sure that you understand the intensity correctly before you choose it. And just before you go, I'm going to tell you the little hack that I was telling you about how you can save that electricity bill. So there are so many ways that you can save the electricity bill, but one of the main ways is that instead of using the CFL bulb which you use, you can actually use an LED bulb. This saves so much of your cost. And even when you're going for, let's say, smart automation lighting, remember that these really help to save the energy, because they usually come with timers. So the electricity is not running throughout the day. So it really saves on time. And in case you want to know a little more about smart home automation, then you should definitely check out this video. It's got a variety of things that you can use. If you have any more questions regarding lighting, then do comment below and let me know about anything, and I'm happy to help you. And if you want to know about what type of lights to buy in the right color and the right size, then you can definitely check out this video too. So thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and of course hit that notification bell. See you soon.